Australian STV tends to get quite animated.
Indeed. Good evening, gamers. I'm Griever from GameStar TV and GreaverTV, and I've got my guest caster with me tonight. That is Vioaduct from ozfortress. How's it going, mate?
Pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. And we're just bringing you coverage of the ozfortress Div 1 Grand Final for the ozfortress Winter League 6. And of course that is IM versus SQL Gaming, formerly known as Rewound. And obviously we're bringing you this this action tonight from an STV. We can't get rid of STV chat, and there is no auto director, so we don't really have much of a choice in what we show you. Anyway, so we're just going to be following the players tonight, and obviously this is some top level play, and yeah, hopefully it'll be pretty good. Game should get underway very shortly. You excited about this match, Vioaduct?
Well, I sort of did watch it already. For those who didn't see it, it is quite exciting. It's very close. So I don't really want to give too many, I don't know, spoilers or anything. But yeah, it's going to have you on the edge of your seat, I reckon.
Indeed, it should do that. Yeah, like obviously some interesting changes to these teams in recent times. Vioaduct, Nig of New Zealand, obviously, who played for YSW for many years. Obviously, he's joined IM. How do you think they're gonna do with him compared to their previous demo?
Well, the previous demos, being Yuki and Yuri, were two of the best 3 demos in Australia. So filling that hole is going to be pretty hard for Nig. He is, or was, a good demo back in his time, but it's been quite a while since he's played, so it could be a bit of an issue since he's going up the other best demo in Australia, being Prime. So, you know, I think mid battles are probably going to go Sequential's way, but I think maybe with some good teamwork and a bit of help from Nig, they'll turn it around on mids.
Yeah, for sure. And we can't be far away from readying up now. Probably only a minute or so away. And first of all, I just have to apologise to everyone. Obviously, we can't get rid of the Source TV chat, and as you expect in Source TV, everyone's talking a bunch of shit, and there is plenty of bad language. So don't look if you're scared of that. Anyway, we have readied up, and we're going to follow Bonobo from Intel, widely recognised as Australasia's best medic on this first rollout, and I'm just going to flick through, and hopefully we can find Prime and we can see how his rollout's going. There we go. Obviously these demos are top tier demos. They have exceptionally fast rollouts, and yeah, let's see that Prime getting it well for Nig, and Nig is not moving slow. Prime obviously just staying back over here. Soldier jumping on him immediately. Prime gets taken out earlier. Aporia jumping on him. Who's that? Hellscream and Nig going down, as well as Aporia. So you see JMH trying to get the pick on the medic here, and he gets toasted by Antwar. And SQL Gaming, is only Antwar left up for IM, so SQL is going to be able to finish us off and cap up this point for us.
Yeah, we saw the traditional play on middle where the roamer jumps into the other team's medic and usually the demo, but while Aporia really had to put damage into Prime, Buddha only had to put 1 rocket into Nig, killing him and then using his remaining 2 rockets to kill Bonobo. So, and that just opened up the way for Jamie to run in and pick off Aporia, who was low for his jump.
Yeah, for sure. And looking at the Ubers here, obviously Mike from SQL Gaming has 100% Uber charge. Bonobo only has about 35, so as you can see, IM is holding back at second there. Bonobo, 24 HP there. He's lucky to be alive there. And but Mike has popped their Uber, and oh wow, yeah, my HL2 trying to cack out. Bonobo's sitting on 80% now. Mike's sitting on 30%, and obviously SQL's coming in here trying to do a suicide, seeing if they can kill Bonobo. But they're actually making a play on the point. It seems they've decided to commit to it, and the counterpop from Bonobo has come. Mike's sitting on about 50% Uber.
Yeah, that was a well good play by them. They forced your advantage. They didn't lose too many players, but now it's just Antwer coming in, mopping up some really good damage, picking off 2 players. He's still trying to go for it. Like, he's still a bit frag hungry, but his team is Sabine supporting him, so he's not too in danger of dying there. But I think, yep, here we go. They did force the pop from Mike. They are redrawing as quick as they can. Bonobo must stay alive so that he'll keep his Uber. They lose their pocket Yuki, so Bonobo does go down, sorry, so Buddha doing his job there as a roamer, picking him off. So this, well, I don't think this is going to turn out too well for IM. I think that SQL will end up capping this out.
Yeah, well, it is looking that way. I mean, they did just lose Primed, Emerald, and JMH, but they've still got Grey Hunter up. Look at that, Hellscream, Nig, and Antwer, all of them on less than 30 health there. That's quite crazy. But getting players up for IM, obviously Bonobo's up, he isn't healing anyone there, and Mike is coming up on 80%. I will be very surprised if SQL wasn't able to come in and clean this up, Ferriser.
Yeah, well, the only thing that Immunity can do here is exactly what Antwer's already done, swap to utility and try and get a pick as soon as they push. If they can pick maybe the demo, or even just a Solly, it's important, but no, they popped really early knowing that there's going to be a sniper. They lose their only scout, Antwer's stuck outside a sniper, he can't go back and change. Prime decimating 2 of the IM players, and JMH and Emerald just walking over the rest of them, so Griever, it's not looking good at the moment for Team Immunity.
Indeed it's not, as the score is now 0-1 in favour of SQL Gaming. So yeah, they've managed to cap up that first point, and I mean a lot of people didn't think SQL were going to be able to stand up to IM, even with IM having Nig as their demo now. But if we're taking a look at the scores here, and as you can tell, Mike spent a bit more time up than Bonobo, and general damage output from SQL seems to be higher. And interestingly enough, Grey Hunter is running heavy to mid, so it should be interesting to see what happens here on this mid for us.
Yeah, well, playing with Grey Hunter a few seasons ago, I know how much he loves his heavy, and he likes to abuse the firepower that it can lay down. I mean, it's such a strong defensive class, and you just come out and start mowing down people. The downside is that you don't have much chasing power, and you're a big target. But it does win them the middle as they just force them out, so pushing with a heavy here can be a little different, considering teams usually do not come up across it, but I think SQL will probably just jump it straight out, aggressive into their face, and just keep them back with a heavy Uber.
Yeah, for sure. And we're just catching up with Aporia here as he comes out to join the rest of his team. Obviously, both teams do have Uber, so this STV chat is really annoying the crap out of me. And so obviously we're probably going to see SQL Gaming make a push very shortly on IM, and see someone up there trying to get a pick of some sort, and Aporia getting a decent bit of damage on them. And the Uber has been popped by IM. Mike's already used his, that's gone. SQL Gaming losing 2 of their players here. Antwer low there, obviously you can see Aporia biding his time before he pushes in, as you can see on the screen here. And SQL only 3 out, they've only got Medic, Demo and Scout. They'll probably be looking to fall out without getting flanked and try and wait for the players to get up.
Yeah, that push right there, I think, demonstrated the skill difference between Immunity and Rewound. That being that Immunity's coordination and ability to adapt to new situations is what makes them the best team, while Rewound seems to rely more on solid strategies that they've been using for 2.5 years and consistent DM.
Yeah. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but that dynamic, that flow that IM has, and the ability just for their players, as you say, to just adapt to whatever's happening, is obviously it's a major thing in competitive gaming.
Yeah, it really does make the difference in the end, considering that they're able to think and then punish Rewound for the minute mistakes that they make. And that then is that Mike didn't keep all of his players Uber, they extended a bit too far and didn't have backup. But we see IM pushing here, Yuki leading the charge, trying to get some real good damage out, but there was a bit of a dangerous situation there. They could have lost players or been forced to Uber really early, so they do well in backing out, regrouping, healing up, and trying again, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm just cycling through the players here. Going to take a look and have a look what Emerald gets up to when this push eventually happens. This is turtling at its best, isn't it? SQL turtling, and they're IM obviously just kicking back on mid, not doing much. And it's 1-0.
That's just the way the current metagame is at the moment. It relies a lot on advantages, and Prime dying to a sticky trap also helping to get Hellscream, who is use this, and Mike pops Uber to save Prime, and they go in, try and pop in Uber, but that's a very late pop, and Aporia is trying to chase Prime out, but it's a bit hard for him to chase down through that choke, so they're probably just going to have to back off the middle and wait for respawners. I don't think they'll recontest, I think they'll just hold courtyard.
Yeah, just following Prime now on the cast, and he really is an amazing demo.
He is.
Anyway, so yeah, this has obviously not been the most exciting match so far, but very interesting to see these two teams squaring off. Ferriser, it's like, I mean, I caught that first match and it wasn't quite as stalematey, but personally I'm looking forward to Vioaduct after Granary.
I think that will be probably where Immunity shines the most, where their tight play style and their ability to adapt to new situations will allow them to just corner Sequential into a bad spot, and then they'll just decimate them with Nig. But yeah, so far Granary stalemate just because I think they're missing a bit of the fragging power of a stronger demo, and I think Hellscream isn't playing so well tonight. I've normally seen him play a lot better than this.
Yeah, most certainly. And oh wow, Grey Hunter getting taken out. Awesome work by Pori there. Obviously he goes down in that push. And Bonobo's only just popped Uber now. SQL was in a really dangerous position. That's it. Lights out for Admiral and Mike. They get absolutely toasted in that push. Nig is super low. He'll be looking to get some heals, but SQL only has Buddha and JMH up. Things are not looking good for SQL right here.
No, they're not. There was a they were forced to pop by Aporia. He was doing a really close hold on the right. Did his job, forced and only popped. Bonobo with some really good reactions come along and saves him. Nigby comes up to back him up, and Bonobo just multis the crap out of that Uber and then keeps all his players alive. And they've capped middle, they've got Uber advantage, and now they're pushing into courtyard before they've even taken some good positions.
Yeah. Always great to see teams of this caliber playing, and Bonobo especially. What an excellent mid. Anyway, so following I and Bonobo obviously here, and as they push it on the second point, and they've popped the Uber. Mike only has 67%. They Ubered the Scout, trying to see if he could get in there and do some damage. And Prime, JMH, and Mike all going down to a combination of Hellscream and Yuki pretty much. And IM is going to move in and cap this point out with no troubles whatsoever for us.
Yeah, there was it's something that we're starting to see more and more these days, is a Scout Uber, or just a Scout involved in the combo. Because the sheer chasing power and ability that the Scout offers, it's so much when it comes to chasing down people, especially in that second cap, because it's hard for a solid to rocket jump.
This is true, and obviously the caliber of these Scouts, their ability to put out meat shots in pretty much every hit, that damage output is just crazy. And we're following Antwi here as we come out on this rollout, and not too much happening so far. Unfortunately, Nigna gets taken out early. I am at an early disadvantage on mid, and it looks as though they're just going to fall out and hold their fourth here. Sorry, their second here. And I suppose this is one of the Emerald getting picked off. This is one of the big differences between the higher divs and the lower divs. I am instantly knew they're at a disadvantage, and they're falling out so that they don't lose any more players. They don't want to end up on last point with Uber disadvantage.
Yeah, that's a very good way of thinking at it. They started to realise that Prime had the edge on Nig, and they backed out, kept as many players alive, and now they're able to hold courtyard. Whereas if they tried to stick it in, and maybe they might have got a few kills, or they might have all just got wiped and had to hold back to last, maybe second. But no, you're right, they did a good job falling out, and now they're on courtyard. It's back to a stalemate, but I think all we'll see here is maybe a push from Sequential's right, IM's left, or maybe just a suiciding soldier maybe to get an Uber pop.
Yeah, something along those lines. Hopefully we're not sitting here for another long stalemate. In the meantime, do you want to give us a little bit of an overview of the history of these teams quickly, Ferriser?
Yep, no worries. Sequential, I played with back in our 2 or 3, but yeah, they've had a few minor change-up, being Scouts, Medics, and the Roaming Soldier being Buddha, so they are meshing quite well together, and they are improving as a team, but I think IM is not as strong as they once were. They lost Boat, they lost Sheep, and they lost Yuki on demo, and because he went to pocket while Vic left the game. So it's unfortunate that we lost some really good players, but I am still doing really well, picking up some good players and you know, forcing some more teamwork into them.
Yeah, and I bet a lot of people, like, you know, when they originally had these massive changes happen, didn't think that you know, that things were going to go this way. They thought that this was the end of IM pretty much, and that Rewound was going to overtake. And obviously IM proving once again why they are an amazing team. And obviously from watching that, JMH is having a look, make sure no one's sitting in second waiting to pop out with crits or something like that. Obviously, SQL Gaming is now looking to push in on IM second. Both teams have got Uber. Amral going down there, as does Aporia. Nignig is extraordinarily low. Both Ubers have been popped. JMH is kicking out of the back, and IM is over in Garage Fursa.
Yeah, they reacted very quickly to that garage push where you try and gain numbers advantage by killing the roaming Solly in the roof, but I am reacted very quickly, forcing an Uber pop and then chasing the players that are upstairs because they weren't Uber.
Oh,
and I think that's the big difference. Yeah, that's some big damage there by Nignig. He follows in and the scout just mops it up, but poor Nignig with no assist.
Indeed. Surprised he didn't get that. But yeah, so IM quickly moving in and camping on that point, and obviously they're going to have a major Uber advantage. Mike isn't up for another 5 seconds. Bonobo sitting on 70% Uber, so roughly 75% Uber advantage in favour of IM, and obviously they're just checking around, making sure there's no juice stickies or whatever, and they're going to be looking out for someone to come and make a play. That's Buddha, as we could have guessed. Buddha trying to make a play, trying to make him pop. He has no luck there, so SQL Gaming, Ferrisar, they're now sitting, they've still got their second point, but they've only got 30% Uber, and they are missing 2 players now.
Yeah, they missed 3 now as Grey Hunter tries to overextend, doesn't get the call that they lost the right. I think that was SQL's error there by trying to hold too much onto second, and now it's going to cost them a lot. They've got Uber ad, but they've got huge player ad, and I don't think the Uber's going to make much of a difference as they just swarm them with sheer numbers.
Indeed, and there you go. IM caps it out, bringing the score back to 2-1 on the OzGamer scoreboard. And yeah, so we're heading into the 4th round.
Yeah, I think this is this match is Rewound or SQL's best chance of overtaking immunity and taking the top spot in OzTF2. But whether they'll do it will come down to, I think, Vioaduct, I reckon.
Yeah, that's certainly one I'm going to be watching out. We're just following Grey Hunter here as he lands up on Catwalk, ready to try and deny that jumping soldier. Buddha, Amral, and Mike going down there. Aporia does go down, as does Hellscream and Prime. So SQL at a major disadvantage here, and IM biding their time, being very smart about this.
Yep, they've realised that they've got heal advantage, they can afford to take this slow, they've got numbers as well, and they know that Rewound has to make a play on their medic. They have to try and force a pop from Bonobo. And so they just waited, healed up, and pushed when they were in, or when they were completely ready to. So some teams, lower teams might, you know, might be too eager to try and get that cap, but no, I am playing it really smart there.
Yeah, they certainly are. And I'm just going to get our camera back in line. This auto director is giving me the shits. And so 1 scout disadvantage for each team. Ubers, Bonobo has 100%, Mike is coming up on 65, and it looks as though IM is going to push in and take control of Courtyard, and SQL is going to back. They're just trying not to engage too much, letting IM kind of chase them in. Unfortunately, Buddha and Amral getting stuck there. Bonobo was forced to pop his Uber though, and so now Mike is able to pop his, and they're going to push in. You're probably going to see IM falling out as quickly as they can here. Was that something going to last?
So yeah, I think that might have been Antua snuck around last maybe to go for a bit of a flank, but yeah, while I think what cost that point there was the fact that Amral died, and while Buddha was doing the smart thing, going for a play, forcing a pop so that they called hold second, Amral also died and they lost the flank, and so when they Ubered in, players just scattered and they had nothing to shoot, and then they just took it all onto us, and that's all she wrote.
Indeed. So right now, this is it's looking almost like a roll, almost. But who knows what's going to happen here, Ferris? What do you think of this first half?
I think a bit of a shaky start from IM, but then they started to coalesce themselves into the team that we know them to be. I think Rewound is still showing their aggression that we know them for, but it's just still not enough to beat a weaker IM.
Righto, and so we should see the second half get underway shortly. Obviously, for those of you who don't have such keen eyes, once we get 3 rounds in favour of one team in a game, we go to half time and the teams swap over and they have another half hour, and obviously it's still first to 5 to win. So we're looking at the score now. So this is 3-1 in favour of IM, and it's going to be very interesting to see if SQL can you know, pull us back. And we're going to follow Butter on his rollout here. SQL is obviously in blue now, people, just for those of you with no eyes.
I think if we're going to watch Buddha, I think the first thing we'll see is a very aggressive Buddha bomb, as he's known for.
Indeed. Fortunately, lagging out here.
Yeah, we didn't even get to see the bomb, we just see him die in some kill notices.
I suppose that's all she wrote, as you say, anyway. It's kind of expected. Hellscreen going down and Antoine going down, so that's both scouts down for IM. However, SQL Gaming leaking a couple there. SQL does have control of a point. Aporia came in to make a play, but obviously no Bonobo to be seen there. Bonobo's on the point. He is 100% Uber, as does SQL Mike. Sorry, Bonobo holding back in second. And we're probably going to see SQL make a push now. It looks as though they are going to go left courtyard and cut around in toward oh look, they've come from behind. They did get around there without being noticed. There was no flank. Both Ubers have been popped. And Bonobo extremely low there as the Uber fades for SQL. And we're going to see Primed push in. Oh, look at that huge fight. Takes out Yuki and Anto. I've help from Grey Hunter. And SQL getting control of his point with relative ease, Ferruso.
Yeah, that was a very intelligent play. There was no one watching the flank, so they took over that. IM still didn't know that they were over there until they popped the Uber. But I must say, it was well done by Bonobo. I mean, he managed to save his pocket for quite a while, and then managed to dodge all the spam in courtyard in second, and then get to last. And he's still alive, even though they're pushing.
Absolutely crazy, and obviously IM leaking players like a sieve here. And Uzai's Antoine going down, and SQL Gaming is going to cap this point up, bringing us back to 2-3. Obviously on the scoreboard here it's going to say 1-0. That is because of the halftime break, but the actual score is 2-3 in favour of IM still. But I think it was a really solid round by SQL for us.
Yeah, they took their advantages very seriously, and they just hammered it into IM. There was no mercy, no relent to their onslaught, and it was just forward, forward, forward.
Indeed, and obviously Nick's still going with the bottom rollout there. See him and Prime just trading a bit of spam there. Actually, Prime catching a roller there as Nick does go down, and Buddha goes down as he tries to do his Buddha thing. And Pori and Uzais going down, so IM has the advantage. SQL has the advantage on this mid again, and they're going to be able to cap this up with no issues. Even I mean, would you say that was Nick going down early?
Yeah, I think the big thing here is that Prime is walking all over poor Nignig, and he's not getting a lot of support from his team. Or if he's getting support, it's just not enough. Like they're focusing too much on Prime rather than controlling the flank and then controlling Prime. And it really is showing that I don't think I am focusing too much on why they're losing. They just seem to be cocky. It's as if they just can't comprehend why they're losing.
This is true, and it's how it looks. And if we have a look at the Ubers here, Mike has 30%, Bonobo's coming up on 50% as they push in on mid. And so obviously it's just a soft push. They're just working their way in. Aporia does go down, so the advantage is back in the way of the SQL a little bit. Bonobo still has 15% there. Bonobo is on 9 health. He's on 13 health. He rode that. Oh well, getting out on 5 health. That is amazing. But scout from the side. Things were not meant to be. Things were not meant to be. And SQL Gaming losing most of their players there, but Mike is still up with 80%.
Yeah, he will get his Uber, but Yuki's in middle. He knows that he's got to do something about that medic, but he started to realise that it's too late. If he dies now and doesn't do anything, then they're going to be too hurt. At least now, what they can do is they can hold courtyard, force a pop, and then get inside second and have Uber advantage. I think that's what they'll try to do. If that is SQL, give them enough time to get all the numbers up.
Indeed. Just trying to get this camera back at JMH. Is he going to be able to finish this soldier off? Haven't been following the scouts too much now. That soldier's going to go down to Poria, get absolutely licked there. SQL JMH is going to cap up this point. SQL Gaming has a 6-time cap, and they're going to be ready to push it on last. Mike obviously has used his Uber. Bonobo has an Uber advantage here, but I'm wondering. Oh, look at that! Bonobo goes down. Buddha and Amril getting in there, making that play, getting rid of that Uber advantage. So Yuki and Bonobo down there. And Mike coming up on 42%. SQL's looking good for this last push again.
Yeah, so far, sequential, they did that right. They suicided players. They were safe while they were capping. I think we'll see basically just a usual push, maybe. I think they'll probably go left side, very aggressive, multi-Ubering the soldiers in their demo, and then just leading in. But no, they look like they're going right. They're not going to give Bonobo a chance to get much higher. They are still going aggressive. Solly rocket jumping in. Grey Hunter going in there, trying to get the Solly. Prime being aggressive, but he gets blasted back by the sentry. So Aporia dying there to Grey Hunter, but Bonobo has a Kritzkrieg actually, but it doesn't make a difference as they just start capping the point.
Yeah, for sure. And that means the scores are tied. We're now looking at 3-3 on the scoreboard, even if it is saying 2-0 currently. And why are we rolling out, or have we got a break? What's going on?
No, we're rolling out.
Oh, okay, sorry, I thought the round had ended. And so we're following Yuki on this rollout, and we're going to see what he can do on mid. Yuki, obviously an extremely talented player. He was an exceptional demo man, considered probably the best Australia has seen, possibly other than maybe Yuri. And he switched to the soldier class with absolute ease.
Well, he did begin his TF2 career as a soldier, and when he joined Immunity, back then they were in Clan A, he was just trying out demo. So he's come a long way, and he's developed into probably one of the most talented TF2 players in Australia. But I am actually winning that rollout, so it's something new for a change. Sequential normally winning, but I am getting a decent whitewash. But Bonobo does go down, so it will be equal Ubers. They do cap second, although they lose 2 players in the process of doing so. They're holding courtyard loosely, trying to contest, but I think that not only will they have to give up courtyard, but they'll probably just sit at mid and wait for Yuki and Hellscream to come back up Griever. Yeah,
I would imagine that is how they will do it. Obviously, Amril just peeking out of garage here, just seeing what's going on in courtyard as they push out to get that positioning. If you look to the STV chat, I know it's not the most pleasant place to look, but you can see there's the doppelgangers are out in force tonight for us.
Yeah, we have this peculiar need to alias as other players in STV and impersonate them, and it leaves you just a lot of trolling. While it can be sometimes funny, for now it seems to have just degraded, and it's sort of just sad.
Some form of competition.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, Ubers have been popped. I'm sitting with Amril. Going to go to the action with Mike here. And obviously they're just tickling each other. They've got the Ubers there, but IM obviously got to keep theirs a little bit longer. But Antoine and Aporia going down, as does Grey Hunter. Prime getting absolutely licked there. Bonobo and Yuki going down. SQL has plenty of players up. It's only Hellscream left up for IM, and I'm not even too sure where he's fallen to. But as you can see, the Ubers there, Mike sitting on 50%. He's probably be about 55 by the time Bonobo comes up for us, as they get a cap on the point.
Yeah, I think Hellscream was doing what he should have done and trying to make a play for that medic, but he got spotted too quickly and was taken down. So with SQL having a decent sized Uber advantage and player advantage, they should push this quickly. Like, they can't just wait for an Uber here and wait for Hellscream to get back up. I think it's better if they just go. And I think we sort of... No, they're still just sticking around, wasting some time. Not sure if they know how to push this properly or not.
Indeed. And I'm actually quite glad we haven't seen too much sniper action. I was wondering if we were going to see some of that in this different grand final for shits and giggles. But none of that. And JMH going down, but Yuki and Aporia going down, as does Prime, Nignick and Grey Hunter. Both teams leaking players, and SQL, serious disadvantage here. Bonobo coming up on 100% Uber. And poor Mike, he's only got Buddha with him. Mike is taking damage. I'm trying to find him so we can see what's going to happen here. It looks like they are going to be able to get out, even with Antoine and Hellscream in tow. But as scout support arrives for SQL Gaming, Buddha is going to do the Buddha, and he is going to make a play on that medic. It's medic unfortunately does get the health back there for us.
Yeah, Bonobo perfectly positioned himself so he wasn't within easy reach, and if he was, he did get sorry, I just saw Grey Hunter get an equalizer on Hellscream and I sort of just lost it, but yeah Bonobo with good positioning, and SQL coming in with their Uber advantage and swarming over middle, but I am losing too many players in the process, so I think what we'll see is SQL cap this up to stop forward spawns, but they'll only stop Aporia. And then I think IM will re-push into middle, maybe with their Uber advantage, if they're lucky.
Yeah, I would imagine that is what we'll see, because there's roughly 30% between them. And obviously both teams have players up now. And IM, 25% off, so... But SQL, is this a soft push we're seeing? SQL pushing out onto left courtyard. They've only got 56% Uber. They're going to have to be wary they don't get flanked here. Plenty of stickies lying around. And who's that primed? What was that? Pushing in by himself. No Uber, no nothing. Trying to walk in there. Gets demolished. And Grey Hunter obviously trying to pull out all of these SQL. Trying to pull out as fast as they can. What was that, Ferrisar? What did I miss something? What?
Well, SQL pushing into the right-hand side of IM's courtyard, and then Yuki contesting Prime via connector so that his medic could cross the point. He does go down, but he does kill Prime, so that's a big advantage there, pocket for Demo. And then Bonobo's forced to pop and tries to push them back out, but they lose their Uber. And IM, I think, Sequential, I think, wasted their Uber trying to push into courtyard. I think, did you see that?
Sorry, it's AFK for a second. No, I didn't actually catch that.
Yeah, well, I wasn't quite sure what happened, but yeah, now we're stuck in the same situation, but IM has Uber. Buddha's actually taken up top with a scout, so they're actually starting to get a bit flanked here. Antwoord going down to Buddha. Bonobo's moved to the right-hand side to try and contest. Hellscream also dying, so IM have lost both their scouts. They're in a bad position here. They're forced to pop. It's too hard for them to chase anything. They really need to just get out with whatever they've done, and they've got Buddha. That's enough for now, but they're going to lose second. They've lost Aporia already, and they might lose Bonobo if they're not careful.
Well, this is it, and obviously the Uber has been popped. And,
yeah, they popped it right through connector, Griever.
Oh, damn, Nignick coming up, they're getting too close. Bonobo getting too close as well. I don't know what they were doing coming so close up to that Uber charge with nothing. And Yuki going down, Antoine, he's only on 7 health, he gets demolished as well. Hellscream trying to clean up. Trying to keep SQL from getting here. There's only one soldier, poor soldier left up. That was Aporia. He goes down. SQL was going to cap this up, which is going to give us 4-3 on the scoreboard in favour of SQL.
I think this is pretty unprecedented. I think the last time that Rewound beat IM was on ozfortress League on Gravel Pit, and that was still 2-1. So. Yeah, this is something new. I think SQL might be a little pumped up about this.
Indeed. I can only imagine what their mumble must be like. And apologies for the lag here. We've got a little bit of a crappy source for this. Thanks, Valve. And just following Buddha as he gets ready to make his Buddha play, he gets absolutely raped by Antoine as Aporia comes over and finishes off Mike. He's only got one little scout there bothering him, who tries to make a play on Aporia, and that's J-Match. He gets demolished by Hellscream. And that's it. That's team down for us. SQL Gaming is out, and IM is going to move in, cap this up, and probably demolish them on last.
They will. They're going to push very aggressive with that. They've still got player advantage for now, but they're not going to let them set up. They're going to move in nice and early, kill any player that they can, and just slowly swarm with numbers. They've got position, they've got numbers, they don't have to worry about Uber or anything, and now they just bait the point and win. So I think that's a traditional IM play we see there.
Sorry, I'm trying not to be.
We're coming out now to the last rollout. This is 4-4. Unless this round goes for 15 minutes and 30 seconds, we'll be going to a golden round. So let's hope that IM controls middle, controls prime, and then I think we'll have an easy cap and win for IM, because I think they will win Vioaduct, Griever.
Indeed. Hopefully SQL can pull one out here. I'm actually hoping that, because I'm keen to see some gravel pit tonight. Obviously Yuki, Bonobo and Aporia all going down, but JMH, Buddha and Prime getting taken out there. Grey Hunter is obviously sitting up there. He's got a pesky scout on him. And, oh, poor Grey Hunter. He gets 3v1 there, was it? Maybe 4v1 there. He's the only one left up, and he was too slow and fat to run away. And IM is going to cap this point up.
Yeah, that's the downside, I think, to running the heavy. While he's up there, he cannot directly protect the medic unless he drops down, and he can't get healed very easily. So he's 300 HP, that's all he's got. So I think the best option there for Grander maybe would have been to just, as soon as he rolls out, to take Crate and sit up there. While it does move him a bit closer to the action, it does guarantee him some heals and the ability to defend his medic. But I am pushing into Courtyard now. They've got 25% Uber ad. Nick gets a kill on Admiral, so I think they'll take the numbers right. I think they'll just lead in with Nick and maybe a scout behind. Yuki will back them up, but this will be Nick doing as much damage as possible. Indeed,
if we're going to follow Nick on this push, as they try and clear the stickies away there, and he gets some decent damage in on them there. They're capping this point up. Buddha is the only one. Oh, Emerald goes down as well, so that's only two players. So that's 2 players down for SQL. Obviously, both teams have Ubers here, and both pop at pretty much the same time. Just following Nick here as he tries to lay down a carpet of stickies when the Ubers come off. And obviously the Ubers have come off, so got a scout here trying to make a play on Nick and on the medic there. And you're going to see Nick try and sticky out these players. Nick goes down. Got Antoine trying to clean up here. It doesn't look like he's going to have any luck. IM is leaking players. And, yeah, SQL completely wipes out the rest of them in time for Aporia to come back up. Obviously, he was the first one to go down. SQL should get a cap on this easily, and that is a very nice play by Admiral. He went straight for a garage, came around back for his Z, and put a quick couple of meat shots into Aporia there to finish him off.
I still think what Aporia did was right, though. I mean, he delayed the cap enough that the rest of his team could get up, and now they can at least try a hold at Courtyard, although Nick does get caught out. So does Yuki, JMH and Admiral, and with the assistance of Greyhound are actually just walking through. Bonobo and Hellscream, I think it is, running for their life, but Hellscream gives up his life for Bonobo to get away, but Bonobo's still getting chased by a poor scout. He might get away. This is No, he doesn't. Admiral's just being too good for him at the moment.
Yeah, that's how Admiral rolls. He's an exceptional scout. And just wondering who we should follow for this. Probably gonna watch Nick again. I've been quite enjoying watching from his perspective tonight, Verisar, because obviously Prime is all over him, but get to see plenty of the action from him.
Well, currently the only way that Nick can beat Prime is playing smartly, because this is my personal opinion, but I don't consider Prime to be a very intelligent player. He tends to think more about where the next frag is coming from rather than where his team is. And yeah, so he tends to be very centered into his damage, but he does do a lot of damage, so I guess that's the trade-off.
Yeah, for sure. And see the soldier coming over the top Hellscream. trying to take him out. Apologies for the cough. The SQL Voda going down, but Bonobo has gone down as well. Mike is coming up on 60%. IM is obviously trying to force these SQL players. That's going to be interesting to see what sort of plays happen here. Obviously, we're seeing Hellscream. He's going for the medic from behind. He gets taken out by Grey Hunter. Good eyes by Grey Hunter, but Antoine and Hellscream going down. SQL Mike has popped the Uber, and I think SQL is going to be able to come in and cap this point up. Unfortunately, they have a demo and a heavy to contend with. You see the we see the pain train there, and Buddha taking out that heavy. Mike is on the point. It's just Mike versus a soldier and a medic, and very nearly capped out, but just not quite for us.
Yeah, that was a battle of time right there as respawns one after another came up. Bonobo got the quick heals on them and then tried to hold the point. Although I think this is too ambitious from IM trying to take this point. I think they should have just stayed at last and waited for their numbers. So they lose a couple of players trying to repush. I don't think SQL will make too much of use of this. They might make a play for the med, but a generalised push would be out of the question.
Yeah,
and we do see them push out, but this is risky for both sides. I think, yep, see, we've got the Uber right there. Yuki doing what Yuki does, launching right in, killing the medic and the pocket. Well done by Yuki.
Huge.
Yeah, it was.
Look at this, and he's still DMing up top.
Yeah, he's still trying to do a lot of work, but while they're 5 down, they do have respawners coming up. IM should try and take this, but this could be very, very risky with the respawners that'll come up. And they leave poor Nignig alone to try and cap the point by himself, so luckily Yuki comes in to help, but he does lose his medic to Scout.
And he doesn't even get the cap. No, they do get the cap. Hellscream quickly coming in there, possibly buying IM a little bit of time to save their asses here, Ferrisar. And we'll see Mike's got 30%, and obviously Bonobo still hasn't come up yet. So it's Aporia, Antoine, and Nignig holding the last point, getting some sort of lag here. Apologies for this, people. And Emerald going down. SQL was just going to hold second here and bide their time. They have a definite Uber advantage. So I'm wondering if we're going to see suicides from them or not. It's probably a little bit late.
Yeah, I don't really think they need to suicide. I mean, they've got enough Uber advantage that if they take this very aggressive right into Bonobo, get him down, then they can just pull back, heal up, and then push with heals and number advantage. But I think risking a 5, or the fact that it's 4v4, they'll try and be more sure about it. And they do Uber in very early. JMH getting taken down by Admiral, but dying in the process. There's a backup trying to go on. Admiral's dancing all over Niggy. Bonobo and Antoine and Niggy get taken down. That's a cap right there, Griever.
They did get the cap. Oh, wow. Absolutely huge right there. Wow. So that brings us to the end of the first half.
It does. It's a well played. Yeah, well played by SQL there. They they took their advantages. I think what cost the round in the end was IM being so greedy, or maybe just cocky, or I guess just overconfident in general about their plays. I mean, that repush there where they started to lose players was just, it's not something they could afford to do.
This is true. However, we do get to go and check out Vioaduct, which personally is the one I'm waiting for. Pro Vioaduct, in fact.
Yeah, I think on Vioaduct what will really happen here is it's going to show the battle between Admiral and Antor as the sniper. They're both really solid snipers, they're both really consistent and equally dangerous, so it's probably going to be a battle between them, scoping from different spots, a bit of a COD action, I guess, from leaping different views and whatnot. But once that sniper battle goes over, I think it'll be Yuki and Nignig walking all over Grey Hunter and Prime.
Indeed. Ferrisar and I will be back in roughly 20 seconds, people. Just bear with us, and we'll be into that second map.
Okay.
Right, we're just connecting to the connecting now, so we should have a video feed up in roughly 1 minute, people. Obviously, for those of you just joining us now, this is a GameStar cast of the ozfortress Winter League 6 Division 1 Grand Final, and this is IM versus Rewound. I'll post the match thread up in the chat when I get a chance for those who want to go and check out who is on these teams, etc. We should be back up and running in a few seconds. But yeah, obviously I'm GameStar Graver and I'm joined by my co-host Ferrisar, and we should be with you in just a couple of minutes, max. Righto, and we are back as the players connect for the second map of this OWL6 Division 1 Grand Final between IM and SQL Gaming, formerly known as Rewound. I am Griever from GreaverTV and GameStar, and I'm joined by my co-host Ferrisar. What did you think of the first map, Granary?
Oh, I think that was a bit of a nail biter there. IM and Rewound really showing that their skill levels are actually close at the moment, and I think IM have started to realise that their enemy, that is Prime, they really have to start looking after Prime and killing him.
Yeah, for sure. And just a big shout out to those of you who are watching on the Twitch TV stream. Obviously, I'm assuming that's an accurate, well, a cut down version of Bratwurst. Hello to you, buddy. And yes, it is extremely late for us, but yeah, bringing you this cast live should be Euros, and people in the US should be getting this at reasonable waking hours, and we should be underway very shortly, Ferriso.
Yeah, usually these teams aren't so slow to ready up to get in the server. Once things are organised, we go in. Unfortunately, in the past, there's been a lot of organisational issues because these guys have somewhat terrible availability that does not overlap. Some days that I am unavailable, Rewind is available, and the same vice versa. So what they've finally done is just let the admins organise it and they play on the day. So while everyone has bad hours, they got work tomorrow or they got a life that they got to lead, this is professional gaming, so they can suck it up.
This is true. I mean, this is the top tiers. This isn't Division 4. These guys, the level they're playing at, I suppose you could, especially with the likes of some of the IM boys and stuff, you could say if they were in a different country, they'd probably, they'd maybe not living off it, but they'd be doing pretty well for themselves.
Well, I guess if this was like StarCraft in Korea, then they could make a reasonable living off it. But I don't think too many Europeans or US players make livings off TF2. Which is unfortunate because it's a really good game and it's team based, so you can't just have one carry bot, you've actually got to work as a team.
Yeah, definitely. And as coming from Meekum in the who's watching, God damn it, lag. Meekum who's watching in the Twitch TV stream, big shout out to Team Fortress TV. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, it is literally teamfortress.tv. Go and check that out. Obviously EX Television from the US, Critscast from Britain, and obviously Vanilla TV from Vanilla TF2, which is obviously huge for the European, like leagues and stuff like that, the news on that. Make sure you go and check it out. This has, it'll actually aggregate all of the live streams for them, So yeah, you can go on Team Fortress TV and you can see who is streaming at any one time. You don't have to just go on Twitch and see who's doing what.
Yeah, that's a really good incentive, actually. And Meekum, yes, there is TF2 events happening in New Zealand. I think is it called Landmageddon? Or Armageddon or something?
Forensic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is coming up in February. That's going to be a massive TF2 land. I'm running the competition for that. And we will have shoutcasting from that. It'll be interesting to see. The calibre of the teams won't be super high, but it'll be interesting to see. Anyway, we're obviously, we've read it up. And Aporia getting taken out by Buddha there on the first rollout. And this is going to be a very interesting match for us. If I had to pick it, I'd probably say IM's going to have the advantage here. JMH and Prime going down. IM is certainly going to show their dynamic anyway.
Yeah, I think that's where it really comes down to here. It's chemistry, ability to adapt to the situations and what's presenting itself, whereas SQL tend to be a bit cemented in their strategies. They don't deviate too much apart from the scouts and the demo going crazy. The pocket always sits back and slowly walks forward. The roamer always leaps in to try and get an advantage, and the scouts just run around in a pair holding each other's hands.
This is true. I'm actually just wondering where my cast HUD is. No one can see my HUD. I'm just going to try and reload this HUD.
Yeah, it did the same for me, so yeah, HUD reload shame, that should bring it back up.
Righto, and we actually have the HUD up there as the Ubers get popped on mid, and Admiral getting taken out by Antar with a nice body shot. He takes out Grey Hunter with a huge headshot. Gonna find Antar here. He is always worth watching. Look at that massive headshot on Buddha. He is an amazing sniper.
Yes, he is. I've gone against these teams several times before, and they always do leave me with a headache. It is quite painful.
But look at that, Admiral taking out Antoine. Doing pretty well there, buddy. And obviously Vioaduct, I mean, we pretty much just watch it for the sniping, don't we, Ferriso?
Yeah, well, Pro Vioaduct is less sniping now that places are more open. There are less places to snipe from overall, and it's easier to get to the sniper, so snipers have to be a little more wary. They can't go off on their own. They need the team to protect them. But, Admiral getting a nice quick scope on Antwa there, so that Antwa's not going to be a little happy at all about that. So will wait until they get a player, I reckon. No, they push in right away, very early. They need to get that sniper. They do pop the Uber though, so Yuki's doing the right thing, pops the Uber, then goes for more players, gets Jamie, also wipes up Admiral. Hellscream goes to help him, Antwa also going to do work, so this is not good for SQL as they just keep dropping players like flies.
Yeah, they're certainly dropping players, and Prime very lucky to get out there obviously with his medic. And we're just going to go back up to the other team here. We go back up to Aporia, who's kicking back on the point. And IM well and truly seem to have control of this match so far. Just checking, Antoine and Admiral are still sniping. Just following Antoine here, seeing what he can do. He has good nights and bad nights. Admiral getting a huge headshot on Aporia, taking him out. And SQL does have a cap on the point, but Grey Hunter gets taken out by Antoine with a sick headshot. And they've got a 2x cap on the point. IM has lost most of their players. And they sent a scout to try and shut down Antoine here so he can't get a long-range pick on their medic.
Yep, that's the right thing. They've got to hold forward. They can't let the sniper out. They need information on where they are. It's equal Uber, so what Rebound should be doing is holding their medic really far back and the rest of their players forward, so that they have to go through a gauntlet of enemy their players to get to the medic. But no, they don't sit back far enough. Ubers are popped. Hellscream's going to come back up soon to help. Grey Hunter goes down. Yuki gets dropped. Antor and Admiral still trying to snipe each other along those flanks, but Admiral winning the duel, so I am backed off with their losses and they're just going to sit back.
Yeah, and Admiral doing work again, man. Wow, he's getting some massive headshots tonight. And SQL obviously does have control of his point. If we look at the Ubers, they're pretty much even. And obviously Buddha just going down there, but it's only it's a scout down for one team and a soldier down for the other one. We see a soldier come in here, make a play. He takes out JMH. That was Yuki. Yuki doesn't get the pick he was looking for, but oh, look at that. Mike goes down. Big play by Antoine there. IM's going to push in on this. SQL's in trouble. Prime comes in, tries the bomb, doesn't do shit. Wow, SQL knocked out again, and IM so much control.
They're playing very tight. They're playing off each other so that there's no player really overextended. Well, apart from the picks that they went for, but that doesn't count. So they are really playing like a team, whereas SQL seem to just have this sort of widespread area that they want to hold, but they sort of just give it up bit by bit, and they lose players slowly.
This is true. And Bonobo has 100% Uber, so long as he doesn't get headshot, they should be in the clear for a little bit. The Uber has been popped. They're going to come in here early. That was a nice midi up against that wall there. Grey Hunter gets taken out, as does JMH. Yuki following Prime through to their last. He's not going to commit to that. He knows he's not going to get very far. And we're going to go and have a look what other action is. Buddha there comes in and catches, I think it was Grey Hunter off guard, but Buddha does get cleaned up there.
Yeah, well, he was actually going for Yuki. Grey Hunter's on his team.
Ah, right.
It's okay. It is 4 AM though, so you are excused. But
this is true.
SQL does come in with a few seconds left on the clock. They Uber in, they get 5 down. So they're going to win this play. They don't have any heals though, so any damage that's done now, that's going to be very detrimental to their hold here. But they've only got 45 seconds to push. I think IM will just do a soft push. They'll get their players up, they'll try and work aside, and yep, they get the kill on Admiral, so that's very important. The flanks are overrun. Apori is doing work on one side, though he doesn't have a lot of help. Yuki going for a pick on, I think, Prime and the medic, but gets taken out now that Grey Hunter's heavy. But Grey Hunter, he dies to Hell Scream. Buddha and Apori are still dueling off, but Buddha just winning the duel. Prime trying to save that point. Bonobo has a Chris Krieg, and he's very close to being charged. It's very dangerous to hear. He is low HP, but they do end up capping it out.
Yes, so, I mean, we could have kind of expected it, but that brings us to 1-0 on the scoreboard in favour of IM. Obviously, SQL did get a bit of cap time on that, but IM certainly showing their dominance.
Yeah, they surely are. They're showing that their teamwork is so much better, that they played this map a lot more, so they know what's going on. They understand the dynamic of COD, whereas I think Rewound just think of it more like a mid-battle just for, 10 minutes. But no, it's a lot more than that, and Nig doing a lot of work here. He is showing his colours now. He isn't letting Prime have all the room, so, he sort of just bitch-slapped him out of it. No, this is my point, you can fuck off.
Pretty much. And just following Admiral here, he has come up as sniper. He's going to see what he can do. Obviously, Bonobo has 100% Uber, and Mike only has 16%. We might see a pick here, people. Unfortunately, he's fallen off. Admiral, I don't know if he meant to do that on purpose, but he's fallen off here. He's trying to find him some head. And Yuki taking out Buddha up on the point there. Prime going down as well. And I'm trying to get with the action here. Unfortunately, this cast is not making it easy for me. Again, apologies for those of you watching. Can't get rid of a Source TV chat, and I can't control the camera. If I could, I'd be able to give you a lot better view of Vioaduct.
Yeah, unfortunately, if you seem to try and free cam, it just seems stuck, and all you can do is move around with A and D. You can't go up or down. I can't even go back.
This is literally what I have to work with people. This and this. Yeah, I'm not kidding you. Anyway, so we're watching Antwi here, he's trying to see what he can do. And the Uber has been popped by Mike, and Bonobo still sitting on 64%. Trying to get him with the action here so we can see what's going on. Buddha is on 40 health. He gets taken out by Antwi. Antwi is just putting in those 50 HP body shots. And SQL Gaming is going to cap up this point. They're taking a fair amount of damage there, though. I believe it's a demo putting the damage in on them for Curacao. I can't see.
Yeah, it is. Nig putting in a lot of damage. Prime also trying to return that damage, but Antwi with a nice headshot on Prime assists Nig in assaulting the combo. There is a scout dancing around them, but Antwi does body shot him twice, so Admiral's probably going to go back to sniper in return because he won't like being body shot.
Indeed. Now, Antwi just missing that headshot there on the left-hand side. But yeah, IM well and truly got control of us. 1 minute 20 left on the clock for IM to hold this point. SQL has only had 26 seconds on that point. So SQL really going to have to do some work here. Antwi possibly taking too long to line up that shot. Admiral takes him out. He was oh, look at that. Hellscream comes in and demolishes Mike. So Bonobo with 70% Uber, it looks like IM's going to fall out. They've only got 2 players up, trying to stay alive so they can live to fight another day, but nothing's going to happen there. Bonobo and Nignig do go down, so Mike's going to come up. His Ubers are possibly going to be even, but SQL has control of his point with 2 minutes left.
Yep, it's not going well as Amaral just gets another headshot on Yuki. Yuki's not going to be happy, but Hellscream does get revenge for him, so this will be a bit of a fast play by IM as they take over the point. They'll try and hold it as best they can, but with Amaral out there, they might be a bit worried, so they don't know if he's still Sniper, they don't know if he's Scout. I don't think Amaral's ever gone Spy before, but, you know, this is the time for change, so might see some interesting things going on.
Indeed it is. And obviously Mike's just coming up now, so Bonobo has roughly 50% Uber advantage on him. Mike hasn't even found someone to heal yet, and Nignig's trying to put some pipes over the top. We see a soldier come in, and there's a huge air shot. Buddha gets absolutely demolished by that midi there. And Nignig on very low health, he gets called out, he gets toasted, and SQL does get a cap, but Antoine coming over the top there, landing on Primed. Antoine taking out Primed and Grey Hunter as the rest of the IM troops come in and try to rally to give him a little bit of backup here.
Yeah, Antwood doing a lot of fancy footwork jumping over and around JMH, so and then before JMH can even finish him off, Yuki comes in and assists Antwood, and they recap the point, so I think that was IM's fault for trying to hold on to the point too much. They seem to want to commit to a hold, but while they're Ubered, you know, there's not much they can do, so Mike falling to his death, he gets shot off by Yuki, I think it is, so Yuki's doing a lot of work here. He's muscling out the other team while Pori's left to watch the flanks and die to snipers constantly.
Yeah, and obviously we see Prime come in here, try to make a clutch on it. Not really going to get anywhere, and 2-0 on the scoreboard. IM, do they only need one more cap to get this Virus? I'm not too sure how the rules work.
I believe Vioaduct is meant to be best of 7, I think. You swap after 3 halves, I think.
Ah, true. Well, that'll be a decent length match then. If it continues at the rate it's going.
Yeah, while the scores say it's 2-0, it is a bit closer than that, but I think it's just going to show that IM really are the stronger team. This is a map that showcases it perfectly.
Indeed. Yeah, obviously we know Koff lies when it comes to the scoreboard. But yeah, IM capping up this point. The Ubers are pretty much even. There's only about 10% in it. And it's going to be interesting to see what SQL does if they try something different. Possibly, Ferrisar.
No, I think these teams aren't one for unorthodox strategies. You normally leave that to Frey. We tended to come up with some rather interesting plays. We started to call them bulk from above and that sort of thing.
Bulk from above. That is actually quite a scary thing, though. I'll admit that.
Yeah, he is. I think he's not quite as good, but he's almost as good. What was that?
Indeed. That was absolutely huge. Prime coming in there over the top. Trying to bomb, and Antoine headshot him as soon as he landed. He missed the mid-air headshot, and just as soon as he landed, absolutely demolished him with a massive headshot there. Big hit by Antoine, and obviously he's up in his favourite sniping spot. Obviously this is pro Vioaduct, so often see them up there. It's not quite as easy to snipe from there, and the Uber has been popped by SQL Gaming. 2 of their players going down on the way in, though. Antoine's probably going to get demolished here. We're going to move up onto the point and watch Hellscream as he takes on Prime. He gets the advantage on Prime, and poor SQL here, poor Mike, caught out by himself. But Emerald comes to his aid and takes out Hellscream.
Although, yeah, Mike did get some needles onto Hellscream, so Hellscream now has AIDS and died. So, unfortunately, that's the way Medic works.
Yeah. Well. And speaking of... no, I'm not even going to make that joke. Moving on. Antoine going down on the point. Grey Hunter putting in a decent bit of spam here. As you can see, JMH and Uzai's going down. Nary a scout to be seen out there, or a sniper, but Primed, of course, is down for SQL. Not having a demo is a big disadvantage. As the soldier comes in over the top and takes out Bonobo, that was Buddha coming in and doing what Buddha does bestest sometimes. And taking out the medic there, and so obviously only Antoine and Nignig left up for IM. They're falling out. SQL was going to cap up this point. And this is the first touch in this round on the point, whereas IM only has 51 seconds left on the clock, Ferrisar.
Yeah, SQL do have a large Uber advantage, although they're holding very far back. I think the best thing they could have done here was actually take the Uber into them, as they're just sending players at them to bomb. They really needed to go aggressive and just use the Uber.
This is true.
If they got Bonobo here, then Bonobo would be reset back to 0% Uber rather than being at 60%. And so what they're going to do is, while they've got a fast respawn, they're just going to keep tossing players at them, and then they'll just push with Uber advantage.
Indeed, and as you can see by the Ubers here, there's roughly 40% in them, so IM is going to be able to make a play here before Mike gets Uber in all likelihood. However, the players from SQL obviously, huge headshot, Emerald taking out Yuki. Yuki is going to be livid. There's going to be one angry Weeaboo. Meanwhile, JMH and Emerald getting taken out there as well, and as does Prime. SQL fucking demolished Ferrisar.
They are, it's just, wow, it's just I am all over them. They were in and around their rectums. That's the only way I can put it.
Oh, arse analogies aside, I'm just looking at the time here, and it is 4:35 AM as Emerald gets another massive headshot, takes out Antoine, who I believe was scout at that time, and IM is backed away from this point as Bonobo comes up on 60% Uber, and SQL moves in to cap it up with Mike sitting on 30%. However, going by the time advantage, IM is playing this smart. They only have to cap it up and hold it for 20 seconds. Better to keep Bonobo alive, Ferrisar, and be able to make this play.
Yeah, while there's Emerald there, though, they are going to pop early. Yep, they do, so they're going to have to hunt down players now. Hopefully the medic... Yep, there is a flying. He comes and books Mike and Prime. Although he does get taken down by Jamie, Hellscream, and Aporio, claiming, what was it? Emerald and I think Buddha? I think it was Buddha? Yeah, it was probably Buddha. But yeah, that was basically a wipe for Team SQL. There is 10 seconds left on the clock. IM are holding this. Bonobo is just spinning around like a retard, so he's not too worried as the suicides do come in. This is the last chance SQL has to do anything, and they are just dropping like flies.
Yep, as we expected, IM far too powerful in this match. A little bit of a play on the point there. Unfortunately, Mike is going to go down. This cap is going to get removed, and IM is going to cap this up. And this of course means that we're going to get some gravel pit. And I mean, everyone's fond of a gravel pit decider, aren't they?
Yeah, I think Gravel Pit is the penultimate map for showcasing a team's strengths and weaknesses. Simple mistakes here lead to caps out and some really short times. It also helps when there's, you got 5 minutes to cap 3 points and the pressure's on.
Indeed. And yeah, for those of you listening in, we will have we'll have gravel pit in roughly 2 minutes. If you just want to kick back and get yourself a drink or go for a piss or whatever you need to do, and yeah, should be underway in roughly 2 minutes. This is GameStar Griever and my co-caster Ferrisar for tonight, and we will be with you shortly. Righto, and we're back, this time on Gravel Pit, and I believe we're in setup time here, so the match has gone live for us, sir?
Yes, it has. This is setup time, so this is where red team sets up their defense. So, yeah.
Mission begins in 30 seconds.
I can tell you Gravel Pit is going to be especially painful with no way to move the camera around. I'm really looking forward to it. But
Yeah, I prefer looking at, you sort of go back to the back left of the rock and you sort of just hold it from there because you can see everything that's going on.
exactly. Be able to actually see where the players are coming from, whereas I'm going to be flicking through players trying to find the action. But yeah, this should be good anyway. Obviously Gravel Pit, not so much, like obviously DM is important, but not so much DM orientated as it is, you know, like intense teamwork and stuff like that, and having some really good plays there, Ferrisar.
Yeah, it is, and this is where I am and Rebound truly show because Rebound have been playing this map for something like, 2.5, 3 years. I am somewhat less, but they've had better players so that they've learned it better as a team. But this sentry position, for those who don't quite understand it, it's to stop jumpers at the start. It's to stop suicides. It's a sort of foldy hold. It gives you a place to fall back to. It also holds that entrance to C if they come through there. So that's why they put it there and not at the rock on the left side. We in Australia we don't hold A. It's a bit too risky. It's B's a lot easier to hold, a lot better to hold. The only reason you usually hold A is when teams don't expect you will, and it gives you a couple of minutes of them not understanding what to do.
This is true, and I can confirm that this sentry position is not stolen from a subtitled frag video. But yeah, we're just going to sit back with Yuki here for a while and just see what happens. Obviously, Gravel Pit is going to be quite slow, but the Uber has been popped by SQL as they come in behind B. They must have anticipated that sentry possibly, because none of their players seem to have come in on that side. However, Buddha coming in on the far right side, and he's going to spam that out from afar, try and get that dispenser.
Despite it being a dispenser, it is pretty crucial because that's where the medical base themselves. That's where they will get HP, and that's where they'll reset back to. But we see Rewan pushing in from the other side. They don't do a lot there. They force a late pot from Bonobo. They do get the sentry, but they lose a couple of players in the process. Sentry is going back up. There is a heavy. Heavy's laying down a lot of damage, but if IM get their solely in the heavy on it, there's not going to be a lot they can do. But two scouts. It's very dangerous here. Oh, Hellscream getting a really nice shotgun shot on Admiral there. But Grey Hunter coming and picking him off and the dispenser. Yuki taking the roof. Neek getting, what's his name? Jamie there. Yuki getting prime, so this is not looking good for the poor heavy since he can't retreat very fast. He's just going to be a soak until his medic can get away. But his medic is not going to be get away as everyone starts chasing him down. They hunger for the kills, Griever.
This is true. And just while we've got a few seconds, because obviously we're probably going to be waiting another minute before we see a proper push. For those of you from America listening in, Nig is not racist. It's not a racist term. I had a few people commenting on this the other day, and no, it's where we come from, that kind of thing. It's not an abbreviation for that. It's not a play on that. And now we know.
I'm not quite sure where it comes from. He's as far as I know, he's always been known as Nig.
Indeed. I mean, sure, he is an extremely lanky and tall white boy from New Zealand, but some would say he's about as black as they come.
Maybe his heart's just black.
This is true. Too much competitive gaming will do that to you. Or possibly playing with YSW. However, Aporia being quite smart there, dropping off the roof when he saw that soldier come up, but he gets taken out. JMH and primed, getting Aporia and the sentry gun. Well, this is hard to follow without a camera. And Nig just sitting up on the catwalk here, I believe that's what we call it, spamming out, but IM is going to back out a little bit. SQL does have firm control of that point.
Yeah, they do have Uber out. They are coming in, so they will get that sentry. Oh, sorry, I think I'm actually a bit behind you, Groover.
Right, we're just going to take a look. Uh, 705.
Where, sorry?
710.
Ah, okay, so they've capped up.
No, they haven't capped up yet. 7 minutes and 17 seconds I'm up to.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, I get you now. Yep, go on.
I know, so we're cool. And now we'll put the stream back out there. And yeah, so obviously B point has been capped up, and we're going to see SQL come around to C to make, come around to A side to make their push, as is pretty standard these days. Ferrisar. I was wondering if we were going to see an A defense tonight, but I suppose it's not very likely in a Div 1 grand final, is it?
No, teams here, while they're more experienced at holding and pushing B, they do understand how to break an A-hole. An A-holes are really risky. You don't have much of room to break through, since the best spot to break an A-hole is via C, so if they do beat your hold, you got nothing to do but die, so...
Pretty much.
That's what we
don't keep your demo up and you're pretty much fucked.
That's pretty much it.
Anyway, speaking of pretty much fucked, if you if you cast your eyes over to the SQL team, they just lost all of them. That was a bit of a fail push. They did get a bit of a cap on the top point, but I am rallying quite quickly there. And obviously Mike did go down, so Bonobo is going to have 40% on him, which means IM is should have no trouble holding this point. Be interesting to see if we see any spy, heavy, or sniper plays here.
Yeah, I think we might see a util eventually from Emerald, but I think for now SQL might just try and dry run this, or sorry, not dry run, just soft push it, push without Uber, while there's no sentry up, so they're gonna make use of the time on the cap. They are jumping up.
Oh, but they don't quite get the cap. Oh, what is gonna happen here? Talk about crazy. Wow.
That is just, it's so close to being capped. But they're all over it, they've got the UR, so there's not a lot that they're going to be able to do.
Indeed, I can just imagine the SQL mumble. Anyway, so SQL might coming up on 90% Uber, so they're going to be able to make a push. And if they're quick enough about it, if they can get the same sort of advantage they had last time, the point is still half capped, and they can use that to their advantage. They're going to push out of A long here, and obviously there's only a little sentry gun there. That gets taken out with relative ease. SQL just moving in this left-hand side, trying to clean up the players. Buddha has gone down. Antoine and Bonobo extremely low there, but they lose Emerald for SQL Gaming, and they're going to get the cap out on this Ferrisar. And yeah, 6 minutes 47, so that's a respectable time.
Yeah, that's somewhere in the average time. You normally see somewhere between about 6-8 minutes usually for a normal round. Sometimes if there's a really good defense, you'll get 9-10 minutes, or if there's a really lightning round, you'll get 3 to 4 minutes. So yeah, it's, you know, there's nothing real wrong in these times. It's just, you know, about sort of average.
Indeed, and I quite like the fact that all of SQL, pretty much, you know, bar Medic, is you know, suiciding to give Mike that ammunition. I know my team, because they're a pack of cunts. They only 2 of them suicides, which makes it quite difficult to get everything up.
Yeah, well, there's no point not to. Like, it's quite important to get that sentry up. I know for quite a while IM only ran a level 2 sentry here, so that if they needed to, they could move it, and it wouldn't take forever to level up. And then, if needed to, they could change that to level 3 then. But yeah, it really does matter if you do get those 3 levels, so that you get Dispenser, Teleport, and level 2 sentry.
This is true. In fact, I believe level 2 doesn't. I think it has some sort of advantage over level 3, maybe with airborne players or something. I'm not. I read something about it. I'll have to dig that up from somewhere. I can promise you I didn't read it in STV chat. That I know that's not true. But moving on, both teams do have Ubers. Obviously, everyone has stacked out A. They're going to cap that up with relative ease, and IM is going to move on to B, and it's going to be very interesting to see where they push for. I'm just going to go find some blue players and see what they're doing. And it looks as though they are just going to come. No, they are coming through the B connector.
Yeah, that's a traditional way to break that sentry hold now, because you jump your solis on the roof and you can spam that sentry really early. Usually people will watch C connectors, so they've got players going there to try and do anything. They are starting to push. Emerald gets taken out by Antwa. Also getting the teleport is a big work by Antwa, but Nigni getting the engineer and the sentry, so that's some really good work. They haven't popped yet. Now both teams are popped. Nig still trying to do some work. Bonobo multiing his plays as best as he can. Prime getting hunted down by a scout. IM have claimed the roof. They've started to claim the point with their player advantage. There is no sentry going up, so they can take this relatively slow. Hellscream does go in and does pick off Prime, so that's really important pick here. Nig gets the pocket. So Nig just laying down a lot of spam here, so they can't come back in very easily. Scouts are assisting him. It's very important in this sort of situation to not start capping, but rather to lock the points out so that they can't contest, and that's exactly what IM are doing here.
Yeah, definitely keep those doors locked down, stop them from getting in, and you can just leave a scout or two on the cap, and there'll be no issues. Obviously, we've seen a soldier sneak in through the right, and obviously we've been following Hellscream and Antoine on this push here. And I'm really fond of watching that. You get to see some awesome scout plays. The scouts just jumping in and out of window there. And Aporia's up on the point. Sorry, not Aporia. There's someone up on the point. Aporia stopping people from running up as he jumps up there to help out. And IM is going to cap this out. 4 minutes 28 is that.
Yeah, I think what Rewound were a bit too angsty to try and hold, or retake B actually, and Grey Hunter went down, then they tried to get plays to pop the Uber, when in reality they should have probably just held up with a sentry and a heavy or a pyro or something, and then just, you know, blown them off the cap and delay as best as they could. But yeah, their over-eagerness was their downfall.
This is true, and we've had 2,500 views on this channel total in around about 5.5 hours, so it's quite incredible. Quite a lot of you out there watching TF2. This is good to see, and obviously we have quite a small retention rate. There's only about 45 of you still sitting here watching this, but yeah, shout out to everyone who is watching this on Twitch TV. Obviously this game happened a little while ago. We're into the State of Origin 2 competition now, but never got a chance to cast it, and obviously it's very worth watching. These are very high-level teams, and probably quite interesting to those from the European and the North American communities, because like Australia play does borrow from both of them, but it is subtly different.
Yeah, well, American playstyle seem to be more centric on soldier work. Europeans tend to focus more on playing to advantages and particularly their demo. Australia has adapted in such a way that we have a playmaker scout, and then we tend to be demo heavy. So you'll often see, here you'll see Antoine going for a pick on something. You'll see, on the opposite hand, you'll probably see Admiral going for something.
This is true, and I've just reloaded my HUD again because I'd completely forgotten about that. That's probably why I've been calling the wrong players, Virasa. But yeah, obviously both teams have Uber, and we're just going to head on over to A point and see what's happening here. Obviously they've got quite a cap on this point. They're looking around, they can't see any stickies, nothing much is happening over there. And yeah, they're not going to get caught out on the point like me and the scout from my clan. I was rolling a cigarette and he was pouring a drink. We thought we had the point locked, and a scout came and two-shot both of us, and I think I spilt tobacco on my keyboard and he spilt water in his keyboard, so... that was in a bloody owl... Was that owl match as well? God, that was shocking. Anyway, moving on. Obviously, IM just moving through C here. They've got a Poria going to have a look around, making sure there's no sticky traps or pesky scouts hiding. And yeah, most likely you're going to see a push from C.
No, actually they're headed through Connector again, and Rewound are preempting this as they look there and start spamming, although Yuki does go flying, Bonobo does save him. They were moving the sentry, but they can be really quick to take that down, and they are. Nig takes that down. SQL have retreated back to Shadow side, and now they're starting to get spammed out. They're in a really bad position here. Their engineer is low, they're all grouped up in one place. Buddha does get a kill on Hellscream here. Jamie's desperately looking for metal, but Grey Hunter really booking Aporia as he tries to come in for an aggressive pick, and now Grey Hunter's going aggressive himself. Bonobo gets picked in the end. Nig as well gets picked. Now it's just Yuki down there. He's a lone ranger. Ant was out there helping him, but I think they'll just slowly die in the end as, yep, Prime wipes up Yuki. Ant was left trying to duel something himself, but he does make it out alive, so it's a bit of a unsuccessful push there. SQL does have Uber advantage, so I guess they'll be making some plays here to try and get that Uber advantage back.
This is true. And obviously they've got a soldier in here on the point who gets absolutely demolished, so IM, the little suicide attempt's not working out for the best there. Mike obviously has Uber, and SQL's getting in position, waiting for a push. Just something I want to touch on, Antoine, always incredibly impressed with his ability to stay alive in situations, especially on the likes of Gravel Pit. I'm not even too sure how he keeps rocking around on 10 to 30 health, and he just keeps engaging people. I don't know how the hell he does it.
I think it must be just a mixture of playing a lot, so he's reasonably experienced, and having his movement, which is very, very annoying. So we do see IM forced quite early here. They are pushed out. Antwerp actually just dying to the sentry. Roof has not been claimed. I think IM have given this up. They do realise they're losing. Buddha does come in for a Buddha bomb. Admiral comes in from the side to get Hellscream, and Grey Hunter spams out Nick. So IM are forced back to A. They're probably going to try a push via C now. It's probably their best bid, I reckon, where the sentry is. Yeah,
definitely. And we're probably a good 30 or 40 seconds away from a push. I noticed you said that it was annoying, or that it was bad or something about Antoine. I'm assuming it means you've played against him a bit with his movement.
Oh, it is quite annoying. I think it must have several crouches. Maybe he uses a jump crouch script. They're not quite banned, although they are very frustrating, especially now that the hitboxes are a bit screwed. So you see scouts with crazy legs or doing jumping jacks everywhere.
This is true, and obviously, we'll touch on that in a second. Uber has been popped. Uzai's going down, Sentry Gun going down for SQL Gaming, and I am losing Yuki there as well. Primed doing the most useless sticky jump I've ever seen, trying to get in position. Toria going down. I'm sorry, it took him about 5 meters. It was, and yeah, again, this auto director is really getting in my way for a second, Cuz.
Yeah, it's alright. Nick's got the height there with his team. They're trying to do a lot of work. Prime comes in when there's a distraction. He does a lot of sticky work. He does get Antoine. He does get Nick. This does crater, so Hellscream's gone down. Bonobo's legging it for his life. JMH is scouting him, but he does get him with a pistol, even though Bonobo does hit with a nice crossbow.
Yeah,
Yuki cleans him up.
Watching there. That was an awesome crossbow there, but not quite enough to save him.
I will admit I was cheering for Bonobo there.
Always cheer for the medic. Anyway, yeah, so ESQL doing a good job of holding this point so far. How long has it been? Is it 4 minutes?
Yes, I think it's about 4 or 5 minutes at the moment. Yeah, that'd be about right, actually.
That is a decent time. I'm just going to check if we're still live. Hey, Twitch TV should fix your dashboard, not telling me I'm live.
The control point is being captured.
Yeah, I did also just check. We do see a suicide coming out now. Aporia coming out. Does force the pop on Mike. Yuki does get a kill there. Oh, sorry, he gets actually. Bonobo still has his Uber, although he doesn't actually have anyone to heal, so he's not getting Uber up. Yep. Though he does have players now, so they'll get respawns, they've got heals, and then this is the way they should have done it from the start. They should have just kept peppering players at Mike till they get Uber, and then just push with advantage.
Yeah, this is true. Then, yeah, Bonobo obviously sitting on 100%. SQL's backing out really quickly.
Yep, they don't have Uber, so they have to back off really quickly. There is no sentry either, so they've got nowhere to fall back to but the platform. So Nick tossing a lot of spam up there. Prime eating most of it, the medic eating some of it, but not a lot. So they're holding back, waiting for Uber, but this is not looking good. They have done very little with their Uber. 4 players down now. SQ are only losing 2, and they're going to have Uber, although a lot of players are weak. So this is where Ant was probably going to try and do a lot of damage, but no, he does get taken down. It's just Yuki out there on 5 HP, equalising around, and he gets shot by a very long-range shot.
Yeah, and Emerald doing a good little bit of work there, and then almost getting caught out by Antoine. Shout out to him for getting away from Antoine. And yeah, Bonobo coming up on 35%, so we're still probably 30 seconds away from a push. Probably going to see some suicides in here. But plenty of roof control. They've got both soldiers up on the roof here, so.
Yeah, they do. Having the roof is very important for this point, since it gives you a very strong positional advantage. So it allows you to just spam down so much easier, and you can sort of watch both left and right without too much worry.
Indeed. And yeah, as Bonobo comes up to 100% Ubercharge, we're going to see a play here from IM, and if we just cycle through, it looks as though they are coming from A long. And Poria jumping up onto the roof there as they try to gain control of. Obviously, the counter Uber has been popped. They've backed off into the corner, SQL Gaming. And only Hellscream's gone down so far. They're just trying to keep control of this roof. And SQL Gaming try not to get caught out. But JMH and Grey Hunter both going down. And as does Emerald. And have we got a pause, have we?
I believe we do. I think someone must have dropped here. I'm not quite sure who. I think it was actually Aporia that dropped.
Mission ends in 60 seconds.
Right, so we get to wait for a pause. Hopefully this won't take too long. Live games. And judging by the brokenness of this STV, I'm actually quite scared to go tick hunting.
Yeah, I would. I don't think it was. I don't remember it being a long pause though. So I think they've been holding roughly 8 minutes. I think now. So it's going to be quite a hard time for IM to beat, or that they have to defend for anyway.
Yeah, this is true, and obviously a few mad people watching the Twitch stream at the moment. 8 people leaving when we get a pause. You mad, bruh?
5, 4.
Yeah, well, these things are just out of our hands. We can't do anything about them.
And did you just get a countdown?
Yes, I do. It's a glitch with pauses in STVs. Things continue playing out, timers and such, but it will reset back to where it was when it started.
This is good.
There actually used to be a glitch and a pause where if you're in the server and you would keep pressing mouse 1, you'd use your ammo, and you'd spawn with no ammo. Or you'd be unpaused with no ammo. Yeah.
I can just imagine that massive melee fights in the middle of a big match. This will be fun.
I'm actually staring at the face-off here between Yuki and Primed on the point. I'm quite interested to see how this goes down.
Oh yeah, that's Rhyme as well. I'm watching Yuki and looking at is that Prime there? Was this a green Conjurer's Cowl and pink Stunner Shades?
Yeah, the thing I'm worried about here is how it's going to turn out. Prime has a Healy beam on him. He is on 260 HP. Yuki's only 140 with no medic on him, so he's going to have to sort of withdraw and hope that the 2 players behind him will help him. Meanwhile, I think, where are we? Buddha was jumping for the roof. Pori's already on the roof. So I think what will happen here is it's going to be a little bit of a battle. Yuki will get sent back, if not killed. But Prime will go down to Nig and Aporia. Meanwhile, Buddha will probably come in for a Bonobo pick.
Indeed, I'm going to trust what you say there. Obviously, you're here for to give us the insight. I'm just here to talk shit, so I'm going to follow your line on that.
Well, that's just that's how I would play it. They might not play it. Yuki's probably more confident in himself and will try and headbutt Prime full on even without heals. But yeah, I would run the hell away from that and let someone else fight that battle.
Indeed, I can actually almost see Yuki staring intently at his screen, holding onto his mouse and keyboard for dear life, waiting for this. No, he's probably watching anime.
Actually, that reminds me, a while back in, I think it was Intensity vs Exile 5, about a year and a half ago. So, same situation, paused on Gravel Pit, except they were in the left C connector, and it was Rep vs Sheep, so the 2 best scouts in Australia, or the 2 biggest aimers, and they were staring right at each other when it was paused.
Oh, wow.
2 minutes we were paused, people going insane with the tension of what happened. Unpaused, Sheep 2 shots Rep.
Oh no! For those of you who aren't aware of Rep is probably, in my opinion, he's probably the most talented player to ever touch the scout class ever. Guy is just incredible. Fortunately, he's a bit of a retard.
I think YZ50 from EMG was better, but yeah, Rep is the best scout that Australia's probably had, in a way, sort of the most talented. Gore had better aim, I think. Gore from YSW.
Yeah.
He was the better aimer. Rep had the better movement, I think, better decision making.
Yeah, Rep's movement especially, I think that's the really defining thing about Rep, is his movement. I mean, you can tell how much Quake he's played. He's got the old Quake strafe going in TF2 and shit. But,
yeah, although he was a natural selection player, so for those people listening that do remember that game, he was there. I think he was known as Reptile there. I think he played for a team called Section 5 or S5 or something. Or maybe it was Boost. It could have been Boost. But yeah, that's who he played for. That's where his insane aim comes from and a bit of his movement. But yeah, he was a top level Quake player for quite a while, and his aim and movement improved much to my pain. When we came up against him in the finals, we found out the best way to handle Prime is trouble together in a team of 6. We should be able to kill him. And then when he dies, that's when you push out.
Mission ends in 60 seconds.
wow, this pause is going for much longer than I thought.
Yeah, I don't actually remember it being quite a while, but then again, I think I did go AFK quite a while. Or maybe I swapped games or something.
Righto, well, for those of you listening in so that it isn't too painful for you and so you don't have to listen to us waffle on, I'm just going to put you onto the loading screen. We're going to quickly flick forward and find out when the action resumes. I'll be...
It actually just started.
Wow, how's that? Murphy's Law. And so Aporia getting over there and taking out the medic, and what happened to our fight? Primed got taken out.
But Yuki did die in the end, so it went pretty much exactly as I thought.
Indeed. Fierce
Although,
knowing.
I think Yuki created, Aporia killed the medic, and Nig killed Buddha, although I'm not quite sure what happened to Prime. Yuki killed Prime. So Yuki did actually kill Prime.
Yeah, I think the pause went for slightly too long. I was staring intently, watching through Yuki's eyes, and then I went and checked forums.
Yeah, Yuki was serious facing that for quite a while. For our listeners, though, they probably won't understand the serious face thing that we're talking about, but yeah, if they're interested, they'll discover it.
This is true. And the sentry gun from JMH going down, and Nig putting in massive pipes on the top of C there. And I'm hoping we're going to get to see some midi action here. I love midis on GreaverTV. And Prime going down, Grey Hunter going down. I am getting a cap on this point. As a soldier comes in, Buddha comes in, tries to do something. He's not going to get far. I think IM's got this cap well and truly.
I think you did miss that, but Nig with a really good reflex shot on Buddha there. Buddha was not actually jumped for the spire yet when Nig flicked that pipe up there and booked him right before he got the cap. So that was, what time are we looking at here, Dino, for the cap out?
Shit, I'm not sure, mate. No, it was quite short.
Yeah, it's actually, it's glitched. This is quite painful.
9 minutes and 2 seconds for 3 points.
Oof, they will lose A with, 14, 17 seconds, and they'll probably have to hold B for about 5 or 6 to be safe.
Yeah, this is a fair amount of time we're talking here.
Yeah, they're going to have to be very, very aware with their push, so I don't think Rewound's going to be very... I don't think they'll relax. I don't think they'll sit back and say, oh yeah, we got 9 minutes. I think they'll push hard and fast and try and take care of some sort of nerves that IM have.
Yeah, this is true, and they definitely will be wanting to do that because this is one team that you must take seriously no matter what.
Although I thought IM would try some sort of util, I think now would be the time. While SQL is very aware and looking out for it a lot, they will relax just before they push, and that would be the prime time to strike.
Yeah, counting on that myself. And obviously I am holding up quite close to the to C there. I can't even remember exactly what happens here, so kind of biting my nails a little bit.
Well, I won't spoil it for you, I'll make you enjoy it.
What time are you sitting at, Ferriser?
Pardon?
What time are you at on the demo?
I'm sitting at 32 minutes 15 seconds.
Oh yeah, it's about the same. Anyway, so huge damage going down from both teams. I am managing to retain most of their players. SQL getting forced out. Mike and Amaral only left up, and they're both low. Mike goes down, Amaral goes down, and that is team down. I am only losing Hellscream and not losing their sentry gun.
I am taking no risks here as they push forward very early and already spawn camping so that they don't give them a lot of room. Unfortunately, for this sort of thing, it can be a bit risky. However, I don't think that they won't hold on long. Nope, they've given room. They're just trying to waste time, and that's what Gravel Pit's about. It's about time.
Yeah, mate.
So we see SQL trying to push out along. They're trying to do stuff while there's still some time on the clock. You can sort of push about once every 2 minutes if you do things
soldier
right.
behind Michael on 17!
Yeah, Yuki
Mike
does
goes
chase
down.
that up. Yuki does, he goes in to support Aporia, kills the medic, so that now they have to wait for Uber yet again, kills the Pokosoli as well, so now we're not going to see a suicide for about another 20 seconds. Although, Butter Bomb comes in, Bonobo does not pop. He's risking it for the biscuit right there.
Indeed he is. He got down to 40 health there. And I'm trying to get rid of that writing on here. I seriously am, people. There we go. We got rid of that writing. It said, listen to this if you will, on my screen for the last minute. It was starting to annoy me.
Yeah, I think that was admins having a bit too much fun with admin chat on STV.
Indeed, they're talking far too much in this game. Speedave getting livid. But I suppose they don't want to go and hang out with the plebes in the Source TV. They've got to be the cool kids in here. Can't really blame them, seeing as they can. But looks like we've got SQL over in C.
Yep, I think they've decided that this would be a better place to push from. They've got two options here, easier to get to. Although they have been spotted, so the element of surprise is gone. Although they do have players coming out of A. Prime's trying to work it though. He's trying to do some damage so that they can maybe get some room. But I think as soon as they push out, Nick's going to just spam the hell out of whatever side they push from. So I think the sentry won't be let down. I think it'll move. The Uber is popped out of the right hand side. Greyhunter does jump really early to try and pop the Uber and then take roof. He does get shot down though. Primed also gets taken down. Yuki jumps onto the roof. Mike gets a needle kill on the sentry.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was going big.
Nick also doing a bit of work there, getting Jamie. Yuki and Antua and Hellscream finishing off the last three players. They are going back in for a bit of a spawn camp, so that they can't give them any time, but I think now they're also being riskier again. Nick doesn't have a lot of support here.
Yeah, this is true. I probably wouldn't be doing this at this stage, but in saying that, they have got quite a decent level of skill between them, and as you see, as talking about earlier, the whole dynamic thing, IAM's pretty good at pulling back from stuff. But as we come down 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to get a cap on this point, and Buddha gets demolished by Yuki. Yuki yet again, good game awareness there. And the push is in, and they got the heavy over there on the what is that, the A long. And the sentry gun goes down, Mike goes down, Amaral goes down, and you see Primed in over here on the side, he's trying to see what he can do. However, Soldier in over the top, he's trying to get a pipe on that Soldier, but that's Yuki. Prime gets out on 10 health though.
But not long, before Antua comes up. Buddha gets shot off the roof, but does shotgun Bonobo to death, so he does do the right thing. Now, Sequential do have Uber advantage. It's not a lot, but they might try and make a push of it, especially with the long respawn that Antua now has. So they're not going to give them a chance to get set up. They're going to push in there nice and fast. They're going to be supported by their team as they go in, but whether I am retakes or not, I don't think they're going to retake too much. I think, oh no, they are actually. They're going very hard in here. Yuki does get taken down though, too aggressive by Yuki, not planning that out too much at all. Apori does go in to help, but a bit of a lag there, but Prime does get taken out by Apori. Nick defending the cap, but doesn't actually get anything. So Hellscream coming in, getting a frag. I think they should give this up. Actually, they've wasted a lot of time. They really shouldn't do anything. But they have popped the Uber. Bonobo in a bad position here with Nig and his scout. I think Bonobo will probably get taken down as he gets forwarded by that scout. Yep, J-Mate doing some nice work. Does also get Yuki, so Sequential will cut this up. There's too many down for our immunity, so this is very, very dangerous for them. That was too greedy. They should not have contested that.
This is true, and SQL coming in now, jumping Soldier onto the last point. They've got a 3 times cap on that point. They've got Prime up there denying it, and check it out. They're going to get the cap on this.
That was the exact same problem as Granary in the Golden Cap. They were just too overconfident. They risked too much. They'd held that cap for 7 minutes. They should have just let it go and just held C for 2 minutes. They had popped the Uber, they would have been fine. But no, Bonobo, Nig, and I think it was Antwerp were trying too hard to stay alive there.
Yeah, bit disappointing there from the best team around. But yeah, and now we know. So moving on, and obviously we've got the little setup period here.
Yep, this is now Golden Cap, so it's 1-1 each. This is the third map, so this is round where it all counts. The pressure is on. I'm hoping IM have learnt from their lesson, and that they'll now play this a bit slower and a bit more measured.
Indeed. But if there's one thing we do see with IM, though, if they do get on the back foot, they're usually pretty quick to go, hey, what's going on here? Which is obviously the professionalism that they do bring into it. Are we missing a player here, are we?
Yes, Yuki has crashed before, so maybe his anime was interfering with his TF2.
Maybe he was looking for the wrong kind of anime videos, and he found... He maybe got something on his computer that's causing him some issues, some form of dialer or something. Who knows?
We do have WM saying that James is... Yuki is rebooting, so... It shouldn't be too long. He does have quite a good computer, so he should be here pretty quickly.
Yep. But, yeah, so state of ozfortress right now, Ferris, in regards to teams, gonna be interesting to see how things change. Beta blockers especially is one I'm keeping my eye on. Apparently they might have picked up Gore.
Yep, I believe that they have picked up Gore and Nomi. They are YSW Scout and Soldier, so that's two very good pickups there. Frey, I'm not quite sure what they're doing. I have heard that they're not dying, so they are staying around. Who they get for their call will be interesting.
Yeah,
and
watching that.
We have Team Alive coming back, so that's another Div 1 team. Although
Kaiserless.
Yep. Also Puttyless apparently, as Putty stays in beta blocker.
Ah, yes, of course.
Although Sev has returned, so that's the main reason for their return. But I'm not quite sure what the rest of Team's Div 1 will be. I think Trigger Happy staying around. Opiate and Questionable are gone, so we'll probably see Team SYF come to Div 1. And Alive will probably take the other spot as well, so that's my prediction for Div 1. I don't see too many other changes.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the same. SYF especially, though, they did really good in Division 2. I know we weren't even at the start, but I know my team, like, you know, they weren't demolishing us at the start of Div 2, but by the end of Div 2, that team had come ahead in leaps and bounds. They absolutely steamrolled my clan, and yeah, they're doing really good for themselves. So it'll be interesting to see how they do when they move up to Div 1 level of play.
Yeah, I have been giving Rain a bit of help as he encounters trouble, since he is so new to competitive too. He's a MGE and a jump whore, but he's picking up roaming quite fast, so they are doing quite well. I'm quite keen to see what happens. I'm hoping they don't be another flop. They're so keen to get into Div 1 and then they just lose every game and eventually just disband. I hope I don't see that happening.
Yeah, well, you don't want to do the Maverick, do you?
No.
Oh, the Maverick. Can I bring that up? Yes, I can. No one from ozfortress is likely to see us as it's 5 o'clock in the morning. Oh, Maverick. I mean, fuck, if we're going to do that, we may as well do the Yuri as well.
Yeah, that was a problem for both there. I'm not quite sure what... I wasn't privy to what happened. I know that there was some sort of insulting of admins going on. Whether that was insulting admins as admins, which is a no-no, or insulting admins as players and the admins taking offense and using admin power.
Yeah.
Which is a no-no on the admin's part, but it's not my judgment. I'll stay out of it.
This is
I don't want to get banned.
Not trying to force you into a situation there at all. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it always comes back to the thing: be careful what you say to who and who you say it to. But this is true for life, I suppose. And we must be surely about to get underway again, Ferris.
Yeah, Yuki has rejoined the server, so I'm giving it probably about a minute before we ready up. Config's done. I think teams will be swapped. Maybe? No. IM did defend the first round, so... Or did they?
I think it was IM defense. I don't know. My short-term memory isn't the best anytime, and it's certainly
you're
not the
right.
best at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, IM did defend first round, so they'll be defending first this time as well. I think they'll stick with their stable defense. They'll do everything the same way. They'll just be more pumped up, more frag hungry. Yuki will get more serious faced and hopefully get some bigger frag.
Oh, that serious face. Whew. But yeah, so what else have we got up and coming? I think Ulti Duo can't be too far away. We'll have Ulti Duo 7. Thinking you might enter?
Pardon? Oh, you think I might enter?
No, I was asking if you were considering entering for Ulti Duo 7.
Oh, if I'll enter it. I don't know. I went with the last one with Blank, but he got home like 5 minutes after it started, and so didn't have practice, and we sort of just, I don't know, just winged it through, and we got to Yuki, and I think it might have been the quarterfinals or something, and then just got hammered.
Yeah, bloody Yuki.
He's just too good.
Oh, dude, he really is. Honestly, he's one annoying weeaboo. But I'm actually watching him here. Looks like he's wearing gunboats right now. What the hell is this? Can't be right. No, he's not. Skip jumping all over the place, showing off.
Yeah, Ulti Duo 7 we've seen, I think, the last one was a bit, it was good, like a lot of people entered, so it was good. I think we might see more people enter this time. We might see a higher skill cap now that more teams have been, or more people have been going into MGE, but that said, I don't think they'll know how to use a medic. They won't understand how to fall back for heals and whatnot.
Yeah, because it is the dynamic between the medic and the soldier that makes that, such as its incredible Logic does so well, given, like, I mean, he does have teamwork, but he's not, his game sense isn't fucking incredible, is it, so...
No, he is very frag hungry and tends to fling his mouse wildly across the room in hopes of getting a shot, and usually gets
the room. No, wait, you mean the computer lounge? He does all his gaming from net cafes.
Well, his parents own it, don't they?
Oh, I wasn't actually aware of that. Oh, well, it's not quite so insulting anymore. Would you? I was imagining him sitting here with his Lotta cat in the middle of a net cafe.
Well, he probably still does that. It's just, yeah, he owns it and then has to stop and go to work or something because someone shows up and wants to use a computer. But anyway, we are going live now, and what are they doing? They're just going to Cap A? Seems like it. No suicides, nothing fancy, just usual. I don't think anyone will take any big risks.
No, yeah, doubt we'll see much of that, especially after IM making this, not necessarily silly, but, you know, rash decisions in that last round, so... And now we've got a 5 times cap on the point over here. SQL Gaming getting this A point capped up. I can't see their scouts. Where are they after?
They were running around C, just scoping it out, make sure there was no traps, no forward holds or anything like that.
As good scouts should.
Yeah, they picked up the teleport in case there was an exit there instead of an entrance, so that maybe someone can come for a snake attack behind.
Ah. Always good to see smart little plays like that. Although obviously the SQL scouts are on top of that. And yeah, so we should be going to see a push very shortly. Obviously Emerald's over here by himself at C, just causing some thing, and it looks like the action's underway.
Yeah, they have pushed out, they have killed the sentry. Prime's over at the rock. A late Uber by IM there, they do get Mike. Primed is low, he does get taken out by some good stickies by Nig, who also walks Grey Hunter. Antua gets Emerald, so that's 4 down now. None have died from IM. None, no one. Not a single player has died, while everyone from SQL gets taken out. So they're moving very aggressive forward to spawn camp. Nope, they've given up, it was too late.
And Aporia, I believe he was on about 10 health or something at the end of that. All of the IM players were pretty low, and we're seeing Primed here getting some stickies out there. Aporia getting away low again as another soldier jumps up on the roof there. Yuki jumping up there. And they're trying to get the sentry up as Prime tries to spam it. And Emerald's gone down there. So one player disadvantage already for this push.
Yep, they are in a bit of a squish there. They don't have Uberad, but they should be tossing players out. The sentry does block it, so the demo man has to come out of short and Solly's out of long. It's the only chance they've got besides a util, and I don't think Rewound will be using a util. But no, they pop very early out. They try and take long. They do nothing with that Uber as Grey Hunter gets sent flying across the map. Bonobo pops really late. Yuki chasing them out.